Here is a Subaru Impreza. Before we get started though, let me give a quick shout out to Naya Motors Inc. for letting us use the car today to film the videos. They are a used car dealer here in Ottawa, Canada. Check out the link in description for their entire inventory. Now let's go ahead and get started. Now before we check the pressure, we need to know what the correct pressure should be, right? So for that, go ahead and open the driver's side door. There's a label right over there. In this case, the cold tire pressure is 33 psi in the front and 32 psi in the back. Now this is for this particular trim level and tire size. If your tire size is different, your pressure may be different, but the tire pressure label will be in the same position. Also, note that it's cold tire pressure because what happens is when the tire rotates, the air inside it heats up and expands and artificially increases the pressure. So it's important that you check the pressure only when the car's been sitting for these 3-4 hours. Also, see, right now it's cloudy, but if you're checking the pressure on a sunny day and the sun's just been shining on one side of the car, that may heat up just those two tires and increase the pressure artificially. So when you check the pressure, you may note that there's some difference between one side of the tires as opposed to the other side. Now you will need a gauge to check the pressure. These gauges come in all different sizes and shape, digital, analog, doesn't really matter. It's all about your personal preference, but you will need a gauge. Let's get that valve stem cover off. We need to line up the gauge exactly parallel to the valve stem and then push it in. If you do it at an angle, or if you just sort of not push it in properly, you'll actually end up leaking air out of it. See that? Hear that? Hissing sound? That's air leaking out of it. So to check it properly, line it up and then push it in. And that is 27.9. We need to fill up air. Now we could just drive it up to a local gas station and use the air compressor over there to fill up the air. Or the second option is we can have a portable air compressor in the car, one that looks like this. They all pretty much work the same way. They work off the 12-volt outlet in the car and have a long enough wire, and the other end of it goes on the tire. They cost about $25-30. You can find them at your local auto parts store. Put this end on the tire valve stem, tighten it up in the car, put the key in accessory position. Okay, now get the plug, put that in the 12-volt outlet there. Turn this on and fill up the air. While you're filling it up, keep an eye on the gauge over there, and once it hits like 33-34 psi, stop and take this end off and check the pressure again to be sure. The pressure is 34.4. We need to take some air off, and we know how to do it. See that? Air is leaking out, and that is good. 32.9. That is good enough. Let's put the black valve stem cover back on, and now all you have to do is just repeat this process for the other three tires. Repeat this process once a month, and you're good to go.